I wouldn't do it horizontally, I'd do it vertically, just because you never know how many periods will be this way, right, and you're writing on an A4 sheet of paper.
Okay.
But you do roughly know how many different things will go along. So I would do like the years down that way and the other stuff along the top, rather than how he does it in spreadsheets. So, was it ERB for...
That one should work. That one didn't work.
Oh shoot, that doesn't work. You're out.
No.
Shoot.
Alright, restart.
Okay. Let's video this.
Okay, but yeah, firstly, I'll do the market rental value, which is ERV, in the column here, so the first column. And then what is it? It's okay, the next 5 years will be 2.5%. So the rent value. Okay, so basically,
what's ERV?
Estimated rental value.
Okay.
It's just market rental value, basically.
Oh, okay.
I always wrote MRV, but then apparently the technical term is ERV.
Okay.
Oh, don't you use the LV?
It's just in his notes. Yeah.
What does that for, sir?
Estimated rental value.
Oh, I guess it's the same.
Same as market rental value. Exactly the same.
Market is an estimation.
Yeah. And then period. Okay, so periods. You always start with period 0. And what's the market rental value initially?
It's 135,000.
What, for both units?
Well, yeah, because we just took.
Would you work with both units or just one?
Both units. Because you're selling the whole building. You're buying, selling the whole building. And you're getting income for both things.
Right. Okay. So depending on the question, if the question goes, they only want to buy one unit, then obviously...
Are we in 2012?
Yeah.
So market rental value now is just the two of them combined. So what's that, 100?
Oh, so you don't take 2,700 square feet times 25 pounds per square foot times 2
Where's
units.
that?
Well, we have 2,700 square feet in the first paragraph.
Oh, I can see that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, what did you get for it, anyways?
135,000. Yeah.
Oh right, 25. 67,500.
Oh. 6.
Oh, 2 times 2. Sorry.
Oh, times 2, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then. Periods. You do more if you need to. Right, and then the way you find rent from, throughout the period is you just take this number, so and apply this formula to it.
This is the 1 plus 1.
Plus rental growth rate. To the power of n. Right, it's pretty simple. That's n. So periods. So if you want to save time in the exam, I would just go 1 point. What's the rental growth rate again?
2.5.
So 1.25.
Or 1.25.
Yeah, it was 2.5. Yeah, sorry. Power of.
Oh no, actually, because you're putting a point, it's just 0.25, right? Because is it 1.25?
1.025.
No, it'd be 0.025.
Yeah. So 1 plus 0.025.
Yeah.
1
It's
plus.
1 is 1.025.
Okay,
Which is just use 1.025, i.e. 1 plus 0.025.
okay.
It's the power of
And
Yeah.
rental growth would always be given, right?
yeah, they will give you some sort of growth rate. So then basically to calculate these, you just do 350, sorry, what was it, 135 times 1.025 to the power of whatever period you want to do it in.
So we're just to the power of 1 for the first year?
Yeah, exactly.
Power of 2.
125 times the power of okay, so the first one is 138,375. And then in the exam it's really easy, just go back and change it like that, like, rather than going through it all again.
Oh, yeah, that's what Lindsay said. So you just went in and changed the power?
Yeah, you just press backwards on the calculator and then go into the bracket and just change the number.
Okay, cool. So you get this then, let's just screw up.
So yeah, so I've done for 2 and 3.
I knew Cassie never would have. I knew this guy would. Now we're sitting here learning this stuff.
So the first one would be, for example, 135,000 times 1.025 raised to the power of 1.
Yeah. And like even for 0, like this to the power of 0 is 135,000.
Right.
So it's really easy. You just literally type into a calculator.
Go back, change the n.
Just change the power to whatever period you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so the final one is 1, 5, 2, 7, 4. Okay, and then in your second column, or your third column, I guess, is or what I do anyway is what do I do? Oh, by the way, that is you do the numbers for however long he says your cash flow should be. Obviously.
So you're going to do, are you going to do unit 1, unit 2?
No, I'll do a sale and purchase column.
Okay.
So this is when you're buying. This is your cash flows when you're buying and selling the building.
Ah, so you're going to deduct what you're...
Yeah. Okay. So. So what are we doing? We're selling.
I don't think this one gives us a sale price.
No, you won't get a sale price. You have to work out the sale price for your sell usually.
So why wouldn't you do unit 1 and unit 2?
You do them afterwards, but I'm just saying that's the. I don't know. You can do them in other orders.
First,
You can do your income first.
Yeah, let's do income first because then I get so confused because I already learned it the other way.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It doesn't make any difference.
Okay. I'll just get confused, I think.
So the next thing we're finding is
Just the income per unit.
per unit.
So yeah.
Okay.
So what do we have?
Sorry, Cassie.
So if we assume, so what, 2014 is this one, right? 2012. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, so this is a year from now, so it's 2013.
Uh-huh.
Then, yeah,
I
okay.
think the 2018.
Okay, this is a distinction you need to know, right?
Okay.
If it's in arrears,
Okay.
if you're getting your income in arrears, you don't get income in period 0, okay?
Okay.
Because this is the beginning. This is literally like the day you buy the building, right?
Okay.
That's period 0,
Okay.
right? So if it's in arrears, you get it at the end of the year. Your first income is there.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's in advance,
Okay, yeah.
you get it in period 1.
Can you
Okay.
make that clear in the paper?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that just makes sense, but just be careful of that distinction. I think he said they'll always be annually in arrears.
Okay.
So, for the purpose of the exam,
0, 0.
0, 0, right? So you don't get any income here.
Okay.
Okay. Right, and the income is 54,000. Okay, and then what happens? Unit 1, the lease expires. Okay, so what do we, does it say like new tenants coming in or whatever, right?
Yeah, at the end of 2014.
Okay, yeah, sorry, so he's relet it.
Yeah, so I think we'd hit him with a void cost in
Yeah,
15.
right. So basically you take that, divide by 2, because he's now paying market rental value.
Wait, sorry. So in period 2 and 3, the rent is received as normal, because that's what it says in the question.
Yeah, I mean, they're at least, both of them have like, unit 2
A
has
break.
unit 2 has
Just
a break,
1 and 2.
and unit 1 has a lease expiry.
Yeah, but period 1 and 2 we remain, but period 3 we're at the new rent, right?
Yeah.
That's 2000. Okay. Okay.
Right, just picture continuation on it. You've got the first term, and when the rental rent review is reversionary to whatever the information says.
Yeah.
And it's market rent or fixed rent, but in this case it's market rent.
Right.
So then we take 14824, we divide that by 2, and that gives us a third here.
Yeah, I mean, the only question is whether voids. But do void costs only apply to this one or that?
Yeah, just
They apply to
only,
both of them?
no, only, I
Only
think
when you're
it's-
reletting the property.
oh, yeah, only the unit that's,
Being relet.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So I think just unit 2 is,
okay, so unit two just has a break clause, so they are going to go up to market rent. So 154 2 is
How did you do that? Sorry, you did 151.
let's divide that by 2.
oh, no, it should be the year before. It should be 141 divided by 2, right?
Well,
Because we had rent.
no, because their rent review is on the 31st of December 2014.
Oh, so it is.
So they stopped paying their new rent in 2015, right?
Okay.
This is what I mean about the distinction between arrears and in advance.
Okay.
Because if they're paying their rent in arrears and they have a break clause, they start paying their new rent in 2015
Okay.
for the year of 2015,
Gotcha.
right? So on the 31st of December 2015, then they pay you, the landlord,
Okay.
the new rent,
New rent.
right? Well, that's my understanding of it. But
Okay.
So
right.
that's
So,
the end of year 2015.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, and then this one, it's the same thing, so it's only 2,009, 690. Except we have to add, or take away, 8% of rental value from reletting. So you just times that by, you divide that by 1.08, or 1 plus the rate,
Okay.
right? This is just 1 plus the void rate. And then you get
And that's what you come on.
72610 divided by. So the new so the income from here is 67305.
Yeah. So then the 8% basically you just deducted.
You just, that's minus 8%.
Okay. I understand.
I'm confused.
So we just, for the void in 2015, because in 2014 we had a break clause. So that means a tenant moved out and there was a period of time in which a new tenant had to move in, so they didn't get income.
Right.
So we just assumed because of what it stated that it's 8% that we would deduct.
And you got 8% from the question.
Yeah.
It's in there
Yeah,
for any void.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't like the thing is basically he gives you all the things you need to know in the question. So don't if he doesn't say anything about boycotts, don't assume a boycotts.
Right.
Just if you use whatever.
Well, the information's given. Right.
Yeah.
But you only do it for that term.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So then after that, they go back to market rental value. So then the rest of these are just 2690, 72690, 72690. It's actually a fairly complicated one comparison. Okay, so there's the total income done. Now we need the sale and purchase. So what does it say there? Does it say how much they're buying for? No.
How much is who buying for?
Or us, or your investor, or whoever you're with.
No, isn't that what we're supposed to find out?
Some of them he'll give you a sale price, right? So he'll be like this one he doesn't, does he?
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
are we meant to work out the sale price?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, it's basically the same thing. I mean, sometimes we'll give you a sale price, so you write down like 5 million in here, right? And then you do the same thing, and then you come up with an MPV, right? But I can go back to that later.
Yeah.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves, right? So he hasn't put a sale price in here. He might put a sale price. So if he does give you a sale price, just write minus
Whatever
the sale price is.
Okay.
Obvious thing, like this is income, so it's positive numbers, and then if you're paying money out, negative numbers. Yeah. Right.
So you assume the sale price is coming out of your bank account, so that would be negative.
Yeah.
Paying.
But in this case, he hasn't given you a sale price.
Okay.
So we just have a.
Sorry, might sound like a silly question, but then sale price. That's the price you would sell the building for.
Okay, sorry. I'm talking about purchase price. Okay. Sorry. I'm confusing you because I was using your time. Right. Sorry. I was talking about purchase price. Sometimes he'll give you a purchase price. Sometimes he won't give you a purchase price.
Okay, and what is the purchase price?
Could be anything. Oh, sorry.
No, like,
in this particular question.
No. In terms of explanation, like.
That's how much you would pay. Like
Basically, sometimes in this one he hasn't. But sometimes he'll be like the property is on market for 2 million.
How much would you pay for it? Oh yeah, okay, all right. So the property's on the market for 2 million, but an investor wants to buy blah blah blah. How much would you pay for it, or how much would you value it at?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, okay.
So he'll give you
Any.
But that's all about the final bit. So we can go back to that. But
Okay, all right.
Right. Okay. So
which is on the market at price 1.9 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'll give you a market price, sometimes he won't.
Okay.
If he gives you a market price, write in there, and if he doesn't, just continue doing your thing. Right. What's the final thing? Okay. And then sale price. Sale price. So at the end of the cash flow, it's a 5-year cash flow. You have a sale price. So you do that by he'll give you a yield of some sort.
Do we do net though? Do we do income of 1 and 2 and we add them together?
That's that.
That's the. See, if you did 54,000 for each one, it would be 108. So it's different.
What are you talking
Like I thought we'd take the income of 1 and 2 as an NOI, and we add 54 plus 54, so we get 108 on a different bracket, and 108 would be different than 135, right? And then don't we take the NOI and we times it by the PV?
What he's saying,
And
shouldn't the ERV column equate to 1 plus 2?
No. I thought.
No.
Yeah.
This is the market rent. This is just your actual income.
This one I'm saying what he's saying.
But don't we do another one? It's an NOI column, and it's just what income 1 and income 2 is added together. So this would be.
Yeah. It's not necessary. You don't have to do it. If it makes it easier for you, but I mean, you can add 2 numbers together.
But then, do we take that and we multiply it by the PV?
Yeah. But you need to do the sale and purchase first.
Oh, first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Cool.
Okay. Sorry. So sale costs are.
I think I understand. I think it's not that bad. What do you think?
Yeah, so far it's not too.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Trying to see whether yours is yield.
Oh, 5.75. But they said we should adjust it because there's no break clause on the lease length. It's just 25 years, so they said less risk, 5.5, but I don't know.
Who said that?
Alexi said that.
So I don't know. The one thing I'm confused about is whether you should adjust yields, and
Okay. Yeah, but he said just minimum.
I don't think you have to. I really don't think you have to.
Isn't it usually just an all risk yield?
No, this is different. This is some sort of exit yield. But it's giving you the equivalent yield, so I don't think you need to adjust it.
Here's he's written exit yield, the bracket initial.
Yeah, there's a reversion and an initial exit yield. But he'll give you one yield, right, which you can just use. That's what I mean. You don't need to make up. You don't really need to like do this thing of making up numbers outside of what he gives you.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know if you want to make a very elaborate answer, but it's not really worth worrying about, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
So
If he gives you a yield, that's the yield you stick to for all the...
if he gives you a yield, I would use the yield.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's what, I mean,
So if he gives us an initial yield of 5%, we use that same as the exit yield, etc., or...
Yeah, you only need to use it once, right? You only need to use the yield once, which is here, right?
So do we divide the 152,740
Yeah.
by the yield? But it's the last year, or is it the first year?
No, it's the last year, right? Okay, so when you sell your building, we're selling it in period 5. It's a 5-year cash flow, right? So we're selling it at the end of year 5,
Okay.
which is what this period is. So all you do is you take the yield he gives you,
Okay.
and you divide that number by it. So to find this,
That's a big number, right?
yeah, it's like going to be in the millions. 152,740 divided by
Market rental value divided by...
0.575.
which is the yield.
That's the yield.
That would.
0.5.
How did you get the yield?
It's just written there.
Given.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's what I mean. He'll give you like don't worry about adjusting the yield and all this shit. Like basically he'll give you a yield, and that's all you need to use, right?
All right.
Okay.
So this is that's quite important. ERB
What is that?
divided by yield.
This is the 5.75. Yeah.
Okay, so...
You do that in your last period.
Okay.
Okay, and some people have been talking about like using party rent or like basically always use market rent.
Okay. Also, okay, so don't use the NOI. Don't use 72 plus 72.
No.
Always use
Oh,
the
use
ERB.
this. Use the market rent.
Okay. That's what I don't understand. So you're not even going to calculate the NOI then? You don't need to, right? There's no... Like you're not going to calculate 72 plus 72? There's no need? Or
I don't know. I assume like he doesn't need you to like show that you can add two numbers together.
But he had, this is he gave a girl in our class this example, and it says, see, he put like a net income column on here.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can add it together or not. Like you add it together in another column anyways.
Okay, but even if you do add it together, you do nothing with this. It's always, you always take the ERV. You're not...
That's what you did, right?
Yeah. So this is not applicable other than just saying this is your net income.
Well, net income is just that and that. Like I don't know how much. Like if you want to do another column that adds those two together, go for it.
But you won't need to use that for anything. It's just not...
You do, but you use it later on. But you can.
Okay.
But I mean, like the whole thing when you PV it, right? You add all the columns together anyways.
Okay.
So adding just two other columns together.
So the PV is...
54 plus 54.
Yeah, wait. No.
Okay.
I'll get to the PV. Right.
Sorry.
125. How did you get it? Oh, sorry.
You're funny.
25
I just think it's so confusing because there's so many different
one unit and then
different numbers.
So why do you do it?
Okay, so the number we have there is 2,000,000.
Of the same value.
656.
The same size, sorry.
So this is your ERV divided by your yield. Okay.
This is your sale price.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is market rent divided by exit yield.
Okay, and that's the price we could expect to pay in an ideal market.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I don't know, like that's just what. Yeah, that's like you'll get some question that says the investor thinks you can have the exit yield at so and so, and you work out the market rental value for yourself.
Okay.
You just did using that formula.
Not by year 6 though, year 5.
No, yes, yeah, in year 5. This is the other thing that people have been doing. They're like, oh yeah, we should tack on another year. No, you're selling at the end of year 5. All this is the end of year 1, end of year 2, end of year 3, end of year 4, end of year 5. I don't overcomplicate it by adding like, year 6 or...
Okay.
I mean, a 6-year cash flow would use to be a 6, but this is a 5-year cash flow, so just keep it to 5 years. Right, and then... So you have that, and then you need to PV it, right? So this is... Right, PV back.
Sorry, question. Do you do the do you fill out the whole column, or you just do the 5th year because that's where you're selling?
Yeah. I mean, you aren't selling in any other year.
So you just do.
But there might be you might purchase it as well. That's what I was saying earlier.
But a purchase would be a subtraction.
Yeah, purchase would be minus something.
Yeah.
So there's all like your income is an outgoing. So
yeah.
you were like had all the time.
Okay.
Right, and then this is the time value of money, right?
Okay.
Do you understand what the PVing is?
I understand, but how do you calculate it freehand? You can calculate it without the Paris table, right?
Yeah, you can. There's 2 ways. Basically, the formula is in the Paris tables.
Okay.
If you go to the first page of present value of a pound, it will have a formula, which is, I forgot what that formula is. But basically, you can use the same formula, which is 1 divided by... Let me just check that's right.
So 1 divided by 1 plus rate to the n is the number of years.
Oh yeah, sorry. The rate, by the way, with the present, this could also be called future valuing. Whatever term you want to use.
So it's still 2.5, or
the rate here is the required rate of return, which will be given to you.
Present value is the amount divided by 1.
so 7%. That's in this one.
Yeah. Did I do that?
Are we still video?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. Do you think you could send this, or is it going to be too big?
Yeah, but you just do that for one, right? And then you have present value.
Good.
Okay, so the R here is the required rate of return.
Casanova.
Okay. Now, what you should do is just do that by 1 for every period. Okay. So then you'll get some sort of number, and then you can times all the numbers across by that number. Right? I'll show you. Okay. So the 0, if you do that with 0, it will always be 0.
Are we using 7%?
Well, what is it?
I think it's
Required rate of return is, yes, 7%. Okay. So what you do is you do this on your calculator. The n, once again, is the power of the period.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so
years. Okay.
Type in 1 divided by, open brackets, 1 plus 0.07. It's the power of using the x with the little box next to it. 0 is, that should be 1. It's always 1 to 0. So you do 1, and that's 0.93. Once again, 2. And yeah, if you just do that exam, you do save like a huge amount of time versus looking at every single one in the Paris table. But this is in Paris table. This is the present value of a pound.
Okay.
And they give you this formula, but they use a slightly different formula, which gives you the same result.
Okay.
Which involves like a minus n there or something. I think the one in Paris tables is 1 times 1 plus r to minus n. So they do exactly the same thing. So if you forget the thing, just look out the Paris tables, and that's the formula.
So this is the only, well, we only need 2 formulas of this, and then subsequently the one that's 1 plus r to the power.
Yeah, you only need that formula and this formula.
Okay, that's it.
And then there's something actually, well, I'll get to that in the end,
Okay.
But there might be another formula you need to know. So 0.73.
See the actual numbers on this?
No, not really.
So I'm not wrong.
But we'll get the idea.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Okay, so these numbers, they'll start at 0.9 something and ascend to, whatever.
Okay.
Like go 0.93, 0.87, A1 0.7, 0.7,
Okay.
0.2. Okay, and then basically what you do is you do like, another column which is your total numbers, right?
This is where I get confused. So are you taking the PV and are you multiplying it by the NOI of income 1 and 2, or the PV times ERV?
This plus this is NOI, right?
Yeah.
And then you add that as well. So for year 1, 54,000 times 2,
Okay.
i.e. 54,000 plus 54,000, and then you multiply it by this column.
Okay, but you're excluding the ERV in this completely.
Yeah, the IRV doesn't come into this.
Okay, that's, yeah.
That's why I did the ERV first,
Okay.
right? Because
It's separate.
it's all separated out.
Okay, and we're never going to come back to it other than the fact that we just took it by 2.5 every year.
Use the ERV to work out increases in rent in the income,
Okay.
and to work out your sale price.
Okay, but nothing else. Okay,
No.
cool.
Times 0.
So then you just took 108 times 0.934.
Yeah, you add everything in every column and then multiply it by that.
Okay, cool.
Just because, like, do you understand what these numbers are doing?
They're being brought back in the present.
Okay.
Right, because £1 in 5 years is not worth the same pound as £1. It's not worth as much as the same pound today. So that's just and you always discount it. You require every time. And then,
So you just took
3656. No.
100,872.
It's market value times by the B factor. Yeah.
No. It's the NOI. We're not taking the ERV. We're taking 54 plus.
Plus 54, so 108 multiplied by the P factor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Income
do
unit.
1 plus 2 times by the present value.
yeah, whatever you have in these columns, you might just have one column of income, right? You might have 2, you might have 3.
Whatever it is, you've got to bring it to that present value.
You add them together, and you also add whatever in the sale and purchase column. This will usually be a negative number here, so it could be like negative 2 million or whatever it is, however much you buy the building for. So, in this column, a lot of the times you might have like a big negative number, like minus 2 million, right?
Okay.
And you times that by 1, so it's just minus 2 million. And then the next one, you add up all these numbers, so 54,000 plus 54,000 plus 0 times that.
Okay.
Because that's how much all this money is worth in 5 years, in 3 years, in 2 years.
So for example, in year 5, are we going to do 72690 plus 72690 plus
Yes.
the ERV? Okay, plus
Yeah.
the huge sum. Okay. Cool. Why doesn't Tony just explain it like it's...
Tony's a dick.
So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right, so here we are not given any sale price, right?
Yeah, you haven't...
So we don't have the first column.
We don't have it yet.
But if at all we have it,
Then you would just subtract it because it's money
There'll
you're
be-
paying out.
okay, but
Yeah.
there will be nothing in between, right?
No, there shouldn't be.
Yeah, like basically the sale and purchase column,
Okay.
like unless something
There
very
will be
strange
zero in
comes up,
between.
you'll just have some number there, which will be a big negative number.
Okay.
But I'll get on to that.
Okay.
Ish. Are you finding it?
Huh?
Are you finding it?
Alright, so let's check the BICEP website. RNP.
You're looking at girls, man.
randomnaturalprofessions.tumblr.com. My mate just posted that. Oh, that's cute.
What's that formula for the PV again?
It's
I wrote it out. It says
1 divided by...
To find PV. Oh, yeah.
basic power and... Where n
So
is
the one
number
refers
is...
to any amount, right?
And r is a
No,
required
it's
rate
PV
of
of 1
return.
pound.
Okay.
Basic value of
which
income.
is usually
Just use 1, because then you get that, and then you know to multiply by.
What was I doing?
Like, there's various ways you can do it. I mean, you can also just multiply all these numbers by that formula there. But once again, this is probably the most simple way of doing that.
Okay.
Present value.
And then the other formula is just the 1 plus r to power of number u.
1 plus r raised to the power n, and this is 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to the power n.
And this is how to find the NRV,
Rental growth.
the rental.
No, sorry, I tell a lie.
This is just how we compound it. Compounding growth. Because it's 135 to 138 to 141.
I'm lost. I know R is the rental growth rate, but then I don't know what this one is used for.
R is it just means rate.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, the R for the present value is different from the R that I use there.
Yeah, so the R for that one is rental growth, and this is required rate of return.
So the 2.5, what did it say the 2.5 was?
That's rental growth rate.
Okay, so it says on the sheet, it'll say rental growth rate.
Yeah.
And then this is, the PV is a rate of return.
Yeah.
So they're different.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is rental growth rate.
Yeah.
And this is how we find every year, and it goes up and up and up. Right? Rental growth rate. This is example 7%. This is example 2.5%.
Surely the conventional method is much easier.
No, but this is like a big boy method now.
No, but in the exam guidance of all questions, he's got one topic which is worth versus value. Topic 2 is conventional methods where it's like, oh, do term reversion, do this, that, but then you've got.
But if you can do this, like I think you're really.
It's easy, but it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously it takes a second to get your head around, but like, it'll be exactly the same thing every time, maybe even simpler.
Okay.
Right. So this is like really what like the crux of it comes down to. Is you need to add these numbers together to get your MPV.
Okay.
Right. So
This is where we're going to get confused. The variation between these two.
No, we won't.
You don't. You can just remember these two.
Yeah.
Like in terms of this example, even 2.5 versus 7. Oh, you're writing this down.
Is this similar to the one she gave?
This, yeah. But these are going to be confusing for me. You just got to remember the difference. One is how we take it year by year.
No, I mean, is the setup similar to what?
Yeah. He just did it the opposite instead of he made it long list. Yeah, that's the same. But remember, you got to list these your set of assumptions at the top.
Okay, so your MPV now, with all these numbers added together, this is the important number that you're finding, right? This will be like what the question asks you to find is this number here, right?
So that's the value of the property after 5 years of income.
But remember, you have not paid a sale price for it, right?
Okay.
So this is the thing. Sometimes we'll give you a sale price and it will be about 2 million or something.
Okay.
In which case that will be 2 million net, because I don't know if you can see it, but at the moment it's 3.5 million pounds.
So that would be a
So
profit.
minus
of
2.
So you say,
Let's just pretend there is a sale price of like 2 million for example.
yeah, then it's one. Then you have a positive MPV.
And if it's above 0, you would buy. You would suggest a sale, or you would
Yeah, that's
suggest.
significantly above 0. Yeah.
Okay.
But in
But
this,
if the sale price is like 5 million, then it would be a negative significant.
precisely, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you wouldn't buy.
Yeah, exactly. If this number is positive, you buy. If it's negative, you don't buy.
After you've taken away the sale price.
Yeah. But in this question, he doesn't give you the sale price. He's telling you to work out the sale price. So then, what would you say?
So I would
Given
say
this number is 3.5 million.
a good
Yeah, so
sale
we have the
price.
sale price that's 2.65 million, right?
No, that's.
Would
Oh,
you-
sorry. I'm still purchase price.
Wait,
Would
Sorry,
you-
you're getting confused. Okay.
Would
Sorry.
you base it on what the market rent is in 2012 at perpetuity?
Given you have an MPV of 3.5 million, what would your purchase price be?
A little bit lower, probably, because you're forecasting future.
Yeah, it'd be something about 3.5 million.
Okay.
So like, all we have to do is say the minimum you could pay for this building.
It's 3.
The maximum you could pay for this building in order for it to be profitable
Yeah.
is 3.5 million.
Over the next 5 years.
No, just me.
Okay.
If this number here is 2.5 million, this number would be 0.
Oh, because you're only holding the investment for 5 years.
Yeah.
So it has to be.
How does that give you a profit though?
Well, it doesn't. That's what I mean. That's the maximum you can
That's
pay.
that's the cap.
Yeah.
That's the cap. The
So
maximum.
loss.
You ideally would
For
want to
whatever
take
you
that
say.
right?
Yeah.
So in 5 years, I'm going to make 3.5 million out of this property, so I can afford to pay 3.5 million.
That's the maximum.
As the maximum.
I mean, just
So that I don't really
given that I've added up this column, it's just what would this negative number be? Like if it was 2 million, then that number would be
Positive.
Then you'd make 1.4.
1.4.
yeah, exactly, right.
So that would be great. That would be a good.
And then basically you might have questions about IRR. You don't have to work it out.
We don't have to work out IRR.
No, you don't have to work out IRR. But basically, if this number is positive,
That's eternal required rate of return, isn't it?
yeah. If this number is positive, then that means your IRR is above your required rate of return. If it's negative, it's below your required rate of return.
Okay.
So given our rate of return is, what was it, 8 or 7?
Something like that.
7, okay, so 7. Then, this is a very positive IRR. But, yeah, you have to...
We don't
Do you think?
No, you don't have to
He's
worry.
helping us out. I should give.
at any point you want to do
Yeah.
it. As in, oh, you asked for the exam, not for
You have to work out this.
Sorry,
Take a
could you
picture.
repeat the last thing, what you said, 7% about the IRR?
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, basically you don't have to work out IRR, but if this number is positive, your MPV, this is what you have to work out your MPV. But if you ask you to comment on the IRR, if it's positive, your IRR is higher than your required rate of return.
Okay.
If it's negative, it's lower than your required rate of return.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Can you leave this
That's
up
just,
there?
that's just simple thinking, because your internal rate of return is,
That is the minimum you need.
And this is the entire DCF from start to
That's
finish.
since you're making profit, so your IRR is higher.
I understand everything except the very last bit. So work everything out.
What time do you have this from?
MPV.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have
Hasn't ever
this.
sell price.
It's sitting there.
Hanging out. Yeah. But if you give
Yeah, if he'll ask you to find the sell price, or he'll, that's what I mean, this question is a bit weird, in that usually he'll give you a sell price, so he'll say, let's say 2 million, so you minus 2 million, that's money you're spending,
Which? I can give
and then that would be 1 million, and that would be 1.4, that would be 1.4 down here, but in this case he hasn't done that,
So
so
you
he's
get this
asking you to suggest a sell price.
yes, I'm going to try some
The
questions.
maximum you can pay is that.
Which is this?
If you're asked to leave this
And
room, let me know.
if you does
And
get
I'll
one,
say
you say,
something like that.
oh,
But you reckon you give me a report?
and
Sorry?
Give
it's
me a report.
positive.
Yeah, take it.
So it is a good investment.
Please.
Yeah, I mean,
No, take it.
Anything positive is a good investment.
You're gonna want us to take it.
Making.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's essentially just how much money you're making, discounted 5 years.
Okay, so
If it is a big positive number, you gotta go for it. It's a good investment. If it's negative, then you're making a loss.
And what if we actually do a calculation and it's negative? Do we sit there say for the DCF that it's negative? We wouldn't invest this.
Yeah. I mean, I've done some past questions and they've been negative answers. Okay. So he's just asking you to.
So this is just where, this is just where I get confused. After we calculate this,
Yeah.
and we go up by 2.5 every year, we don't use this, we only use the NOI. So we should have another column NOI just for dummies. You're really smart, but like for people like me, just so I see this, NOI of 108,000. We take that 108, we times it by the PV, and that's where we get this figure. But it has absolutely nothing to do with the year.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do another column that says what the total of these numbers are, which is your NOI,
Okay.
then that's also cool. But you would include that number in there as well in your sales budgets.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, like in a lot of questions, you won't have income 1 and 2. You might just have the building produces
X amount.
X amount. It won't be. You don't have to split into 2.
Which means that you would need an NOI.
Because it would be your NOI. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I didn't do it, and that's typically he doesn't ask you.
Okay. Dude, we're going to hook you up with this. So we found out exactly what's going to be on 2013's test.
I do know.
We know. And so we're going to hook you up since you looked us up. So it's going to be a question, an essay question on, it's going to have 2 sections. And the essay question is going to say price versus worth. And then it's going to have section B, and it's going to be conventional versus DCF. So you just have to write an essay on what what the variation between these are, but I have it all written out, what you need to do, and then you just need to do a DCF.
But these are the answers.
So this is going to be the essay question.
Same thing with the calculation question.
Well, there's going to be one DCF calculation on it, but this is the answers to a good essay for the price worth and conventional versus DCF. So I'm going to copy this for you, since you have.
Wait, this is
Well, no,
This is just
It's basically what he said was there's certain topics that he would bring every year because you can't deviate too much. And
but he said for sure.
that's just basically the lectures in an elaborate form.
Yeah.
It's not a his.
so it's not like some.
Oh, sorry, I just thought you had the exam paper.
Yeah.
we hoped.
But this is the closest.
So you don't get lost.
This is for sure going to be an essay on it.
Price versus work
100%. This is going to be an essay.
and conventional versus DCF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah. Somebody saw it.
I think I think what it will be is it'll be that
Okay.
market analysis essay
Okay.
and
Yeah.
DCF.
You can't do two essay questions, can you?
Well, you
No,
can.
I can do any combination you want.
You
If you want.
Yeah.
But this is so.
So but market, I've looked at market analysis like cycles and trends. It's fucking.
But honestly, man, this is easy. This is like 100%. Like, so even if you fuck this up like pretty badly, but you can do this right.
If you get the structure, you can do it like half marks easily.
Yeah.
70%.
But you know, I'm surprised people want to choose this over the term reversion and lay method because that's much easier. Like, you know, in this section, I know.
Other people want to look at that now. I understand this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is the easiest one. It's like out of all the questions.
Really though, but like, oh, actually comes up with the same topic.
Because it gives you all
No,
the
there's no
information.
topic 3.
Yeah, if you get all the information, it's basically just
You just plug it in.
Yeah. And the only thing that we have to learn is the two formulas. One for PV and one for this.
Yeah, but these are the most basic formulas, like the super easy.
Yeah.
But Ewan, do you understand this formula?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 1 plus r raised to the power n, which is the number of periods, and that's the other one's required rate of return, so that would be
Okay.
rental growth, and they're both given.
I think.
And yeah, it's,
Okay. I think I'm going to confuse these, but is it safe?
no,
to
don't.
Don't.
It's 1 plus r raised to the power n.
Okay.
1 divided by 1 plus r raised to the
That's
power
the
n.
market rental value. And what's the present? How do you get the present value rate?
Here, try it.
No, the factor.
Is that?
Is this always going to be higher? Like in our example, this was 7, this is 2.5.